You're using this electronic kit for the boot camp that you're doing now all over Europe. You're doing not only Italy, now you're in Italy and you're moving, you've been in Finland.
Yes, and, this tour, yes, also Switzerland, yeah.
Would you like to explain a bit more what's the boot camp about?
Absolutely, yeah. My camp is quite different from other drum camps because it is hands-on. Every student has to play with me for 8 hours every day. Every student has a drum set or a practice kit, a double pedal, and we play for 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the afternoon together as a group, and I limit the class to 20 people usually maximum, because I want to be able to specifically work with each student. If the class is too big, I can't do that, so this allows me to keep the level of the camp extremely high and keep the workout extremely intense. And the point is that I can guarantee results. After this camp, the students will go home with new skills, for sure, because they have just been playing, for example, in this case, for 3 days, for 8 hours a day, all new exercises, challenging exercises, and they've learned a lot of new things because they've been doing it. You know, in other camps, there's maybe one tutor, one teacher who sits on one drum set, and there's a classroom of people who ask questions, he demonstrates, and he explains, which is great, awesome. But they don't get the chance to play and practice and try, and they don't get an assessment or correction from the teacher. So this is why this camp is very different, because I can work with each one and tell them, no, not like that, you know, the left hand louder, or whatever it is. So as they go and during the camp, they actually try, they practice, and they learn, and they walk home with actual results. So this is one major difference. Also, another major difference is the fact that when the students register for the camp, they fill out a student information sheet. You know, we ask them certain questions like, how long have you been playing? You know, what are your inspirations? Are you a professional musician? You know, do you speak English? Things like that. And then give me the top 3 things you want to work on. What are your weakest points? And from all those different weakest points of each individual student, I create a specific curriculum for each camp. So every camper and every student gets what they need the most at each camp, which is also very different from other camps, you know, because there's usually one set curriculum which the teacher teaches, but I teach what each student needs to know, which is very different. That's why it's very effective. Because if somebody comes and says, I have terrible, you know, hands, my feet are great, but I don't know rudiments, you know, I know it needs to work on rudiments. Or if somebody says, I don't know how to coordinate, you know, certain things, I have no idea, or my timing is terrible, whatever. So out of all these points, I create a very specific curriculum that covers exactly what each student wants to work on, which is of course different in every camp. You know, a lot of the things are the same. Everybody needs great hands, everybody needs great feet, but a lot of people have specific questions about soloing, about time playing. Some guys want to know more about jazz, some Afro-Cuban stuff, whatever. So I create a curriculum specifically for each group of people, which makes it even more effective, you know. So, and also the fact that it's so intense, I keep the level very high, and we actually play for 8 hours a day. We don't just sit around and I talk. Everybody's always hands-on playing, sweating, you know, blisters, and it's very effective, I think. And it's a lot of fun because there's a great dynamic in the room when, you know, 20 guys are sitting in a room and working out hard, playing hard. It creates a vibe, you know, and it creates a great energy. And it's very infectious. You know, if one guy is not so good, you know, in the group, the other guys just drag him along and force him to become part of it as in a group dynamic, which is, you know, very effective also.
Very nice. Very
that's the camp. Go sign up. Go to www.thomaslangdrumcamp.com.